Okay, I've talked about sort of having the same, about taking a retreat away from socialising, and I just want to I want to talk a bit more about that because it sounds like a very negative thing to say, right? And I think it is, not socialising is like it seems like a bad thing, right? But I actually think my life's a lot better off without it in excess at the moment. Because, and I've never really thought about this before, I mean, I guess it depends if you're extroverted or introverted, or maybe somewhere in between. But I just think it, I just think it takes energy out of you. And even if you're extroverted, I'm pretty convinced of that. I mean, maybe in a slightly different way, but it's certainly when you start learning about attention and how people keep their focus. So for example, a lot of these big, you know, entrepreneurs and people really sort of regiment their life, right? We all know this. So, like someone like Steve Jobs um, or yeah, I guess Steve Jobs is the best example. Wears or Mark Zuckerberg, wears the same clothes every day, not particularly exciting, and just does one thing, And I mean, look at the iPhone; it's very minimalist design, and I think I just maybe think about how a lot of stuff I do is in some sense a distraction. Everything I do that's not targeted on. I'm becoming more careful about what I do that isn't just improving myself, because it's just something I need to do. I've got a lot to do, right? I've got a lot to do, and I'm going to be pretty unhappy in some sense until I've sort of leveled myself up to where I know I should be in life. And anything I do that distracts me from that is going to make life much worse for me. And obviously, I mean, I was thinking about this a lot with university at the moment. In a sense, it's kind of you need something. You can't just focus on self-improvement. You have to do it through other means, right? So in a sense, university is a form of self-improvement. Because I'm learning skills to work hard at. I can kind of see that to an extent. But I think still at my stage, what I need to dedicate most of my life to is just practical, sort of soft, fluffy self-improvement, like just meditating, journaling, and going to sleep at the same time, like getting a good sleep routine, that kind of stuff, kind of fluffy stuff, right? That's what I should really be focusing on, and anything that takes away from that, I'm gonna regret. I thought for a while, I think including that is actually being a good person to be around, because you think about a lot of people who, someone's not very well socialised, they won't be terribly interesting to talk to. But I think there's another extreme to that, where if someone just spends all their time with everyone else, they'll be good socially, but they might not actually be very exciting to be around. Like people don't necessarily want to be around them, because part of what makes people interesting is you have different, like people are doing their own thing and then they come together when you meet, and it's like it joins you sort of, there's sort of osmosis of interesting ideas that you wouldn't have if you're just hanging around with someone all the time. like some the guy who's hanging around just doing social stuff all the time. I'm not convinced he really is as interesting, actually, as a guy who's got some kind of projects that is taking up all of his otherwise time he would be spending socialising. Because that guy's got, one guy's just sort of hanging around, outside prison on a Friday night, and the other guy's, breaking down borders in human development. And obviously, like, if you socialise a lot, you get a lot of cool stories, but not a lot of them are really as good as you think. Like, people are like, oh, mate, you won't believe what happened last night, and they tell some story about them on a Friday night that's funny if you're there, but doesn't really have value outside of that. And so, just getting back to what I'm saying anyway, I actually think I'm at a stage where I'm at a stage where I just think I don't really see what it adds to my life other than the fun in the moment, socialising. I think I've overhyped how important it's been in the past. Because like a lot of socialising you do is just the same shit. If, especially if it's in, I was just having a conversation with someone, at this thing I went to, last weekend, and this guy was just saying like, oh, okay, so you go to Manchester, yeah, and you like, oh, do you think you'll live in London after uni? You live in Manchester? And I was just like, oh, the amount of times I've had this fucking conversation. Like, you don't care, do you? I should have just turned around and said that. You don't give a shit. Why are you asking me this? Obviously, I know you got to do these pleasantries and stuff, but I'm just so fed up having this conversation, and it's like, oh yeah, no, I like London, but it's a bit too big. Oh yeah, oh Manchester's nice. Oh, it's just the right size of city. Yeah. Just like buzzwords, and it's the amount of times I've had this fucking conversation with people. I'm sorry, I'm just fed up of it. I'm just fed up of having this conversation with people. Oh yeah, that sounds like such a relief to say. And just all the time, kind of. Oh, so what do you study? Oh, classics. Oh, so what's that? Oh, because no one fucking knows what it is, and then you gotta be like, oh, it's like ancient Rome, Latin, like, oh, so like classical books. No, it's like classical, like ancient Rome, ancient Greece. Oh, nice, yeah. Oh, I studied Latin in school. Oh, did you? Nice. Do you remember any of it? No. Oh, it's like, great. I just all this bullshit conversation that I've spent the last 3 years having at university. I suddenly just think, what's the point? When I could be, like, not to sound really lame, but I could just be spending that time meditating or working out or, I don't know, I just think it's going to take me so long to level up in even just those two things, right? Or let's just say meditating and working out. I guess those are two main examples of where I see my self-improvement going. It's like, there's just so much, just to record. Yeah, great. There's just so much, what was I even saying? Yeah, there's just so much, and like the amount of times I'm going to have to go to the gym before I'm in good shape, before I'm not like scrawny, it's going to be ridiculous. And obviously, like, it's about building positive habits as well, like, I understand that. But, and same with meditation, like, the amount of time I'm going to need to really get to the point where it's a practice that's going to change my life is I mean, it's not, these things are changing my life in a sense, right? But like what I'm just getting at is I need to spend a lot of time doing this stuff. You know, it takes up a lot of my. It's going to take up a lot of my free time. I don't really do anything else apart from. I mean, I go to uni. I socialise. You know, I don't really watch films and stuff. I procrastinate a bit. You know, I go on like social media and stuff like that. But that, you know, that's not really stuff that I enjoy. I don't really enjoy doing that. You know. Well, what I'm getting at is I'm not. I guess I've always been a bit extreme like this, but every time I'm sort of watching films, you know, I sort of resist watching series or films and stuff. Because I know when I start watching this shit, I just can't stop. You know what I mean? And that's just kind of how I feel about these just shallow conversations with people. So yeah, that's my thoughts. That's my kind of headspace at the moment. And yeah, I just kind of think the more sort of isolated I am from everyone, the better. I really can't believe I'm saying that. But I just think otherwise I'm not really gonna make anything of myself. You know, maybe I'll become someone who goes to the gym, you know, a bit more. That will just you know, or you know, I'll take up a few positive habits. But I think unless I really have time to myself to do these things, or I record these videos as well. If I don't have time to do these things, like I just don't really see how my life's gonna get better. You know, I'm just gonna kind of, it's not gonna transform in the way that I really need it to. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on it.